All right.
Okay.
So yeah. So then what happens is that he finally decides to kind of
Leave the flower?
Leave the flower, and rather than leaving the flower, he just wanted to leave the planet because he thought that he cannot understand the flower much. He didn't know how to respond to something that probably he didn't resonate with much, or maybe he didn't understand much, so he didn't know how to respond to it. So therefore he thought that he should enhance his knowledge, and then he should
explore the world,
increase his knowledge of things, etc.
Okay.
So then he decides to leave.
Okay.
And then he has a last conversation with the flower.
Let's listen to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he says, "Goodbye," he said to the flower. But she made no answer. "Goodbye," he said again. The flower coughed. But it was not because she had a cold. "I have been silly," she said to him at last. "I ask your forgiveness. Try to be happy." He was surprised by this absence of reproaches, and then he was so very bewildered by it, by this response.
Okay.
That
It
she's
was
apologizing,
new,
and she is asking him to be more, to be happy, and all that. So he was actually taken aback of it. That now this is another kind of a version of her that he didn't understand either.
Okay.
Right? So he was all bewildered. And then the flower said to him, "Of course I love you. It is my fault that you have not known it all the while. That is of no importance. But you have been just as foolish as I. Try to be happy. Let the glass globe be. I don't want it anymore." So the
She
glass
never
globe,
wanted it.
the
She
glass
never
globe.
needed it.
She never needed it because the concept of glass globe, I don't know if we have discussed it or not. Because she said that there are winds and everything, and I need a shelter, I need a screen, and he said that there's a glass globe, and I think we have discussed it.
No,
so
but
he would put
we
her.
haven't unpacked the concept.
Yeah,
of
we
the
haven't
glass
unpacked.
globe.
So he would put her under the glass globe, but now ultimately he finds out that she never needed the glass globe all this time.
So I also kind of, something else pops up in my head when I listen to this, that when there's too much vanity, okay, when you see people around you, even today, you see that they are more concerned about appearances. And as they are concerned about appearances, they kind of create problems around them that are not there actually. So for instance, they say, "Oh my God, I can't drink dirty water or unfiltered water."
Nobody
or I
can
can't
drink dirty water.
Not the dirty water, unfiltered water. Unfiltered water, okay. I can only drink, something which is for branded, okay, and things like that.
Branded, exactly. That's
right, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I wear the branded clothes.
Exactly.
I
I
wear the
only wear
branded shoes.
Chanel. I mean, I'm sorry. I only wear Chanel boots, and I can only carry Gucci and things like that. So, but the thing is that she never needed that glass globe because she was just vain, and she wanted to project that she's high and mighty. And that kind of confused the prince. And that confuses a lot of people here in this world as well, when you become too vain for them to understand and too boastful. So, and then of
because
course,
he himself was because he was more in. You see, because the little prince is a kind of a person who believes in deep connections, who values, what is inside, the true essence of something, and he is too open in his kind of conversations about showing his feeling of admiration or likeness or other things.
So he's
of the
not
sort.
literal.
So that's why he is actually not fathoming that what was going on with the flower, and that's why he didn't get it. But in the end, the flower also says to him that you were as foolish as I was, because actually you couldn't interpret all that.
So she was talking.
Yeah. So that was very interesting, right?
Again, it can be unfolded in various other aspects as well. Okay, so I think after that he visits a lot of planets, and then on every planet he experiences something different. So let's talk about those planets.
And before going, then he says that okay, if now glass globe is taken care of, so what about the animals? And then she said that you already said there are no tigers there, so it's fine. And then he asks about something else, and then she says, "Don't linger like this. You have decided to go away.
So go.
Now go."
Wow. When you make the decision to leave, you should leave.
And what was the reason? It's also given here.
What was the reason?
For she did not want him to see her crying. And she was such a proud flower.
Pride.
She was a
She
very
was
proud
vain
flower.
and proud.
Yeah. Right? So then what happens? He goes to the planet. He goes to 7 planets.
7 planets, okay.
The first one. So we'll just quickly going to go through those planets with the Little Prince in a way.
Okay.
Very quickly.
Okay.
The first one he goes to, the planet is inhabited by a king.
Okay.
And the planet is a small planet.
Okay.
And there is king
Okay.
who's on a throne.
Okay.
And then the entire planet is covered by his robe.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
All right. Does he not
It's
have
all.
people there?
There are folds and folds of his robe, and there is there are no people. So
How is he a king if there are no people to rule?
That's very interesting. So for that, you would have to read the book.
Okay. All right.
Because it's a very interesting concept.
Yeah.
And you can relate it here to your own world as well.
Of course.
And what happens is that when the king sees him, the little prince, approaching,
Mm-hmm.
he gets so happy and elated, and he says, okay, here is my subject, right?
Okay.
And now he's someone, and I will going to rule him and all that.
So even before having a subject, he called himself a king.
Yeah, he was a king. Yeah. Because he was on a throne, and he had that large robe, and the entire things were covered in his robe. So that's also very metaphoric, basically.
It is metaphoric, and it kind of makes me think of the fact, I think we were discussing that as well earlier, that till the time you have, you understand the absence of something, you can't know the presence of that thing. So till the time you have yin, only then you can have yang.
Yeah.
Till the time you have good, you can understand evil.
Yeah.
The absence of evil does not confirm the absence of good. Sorry, the presence of good. So good only exists because there is evil, and evil only exists because there is good. So a king is only a king till the time he has subjects to rule.
Okay.
And if there are no kings, and there can't be any king till the time the subjects choose one of them to rule. To rule the rest, right? So it's literally about the existence of both the how would I put it, the binary oppositions. I don't know if you guys know about the binary oppositions.
Yeah.
So the way 1010,
interesting.
right? So till the time you know about the binary oppositions, you can't be sure of the existence of either. So yeah, let's know more. Okay, what happens?
Yeah, very interesting. And then the little prince was very surprised, and he said that
Okay.
how does he know that I am his subject,
Okay.
right? And then how does he recognize me even?
Okay,
And then
okay.
he himself says that the world was very simplified for the kings. For them, all the men or all the people are subjects. They don't have any other way of looking at anybody else.
Yeah, exactly. Because they are the kings.
So yeah, exactly. And then what happens is that the prince says that, okay, like, what do you want here? And all that. And he says that everything. Everything. And he says, I can't see anything. That's a very interesting conversation.
So, exactly.
Yeah. And then, what happens is that one thing that very important is that he says that everybody obeys me. Whatever I do and whatever I say. And then he says, how does it happen? And he says that everybody obeys me. Why? Because my orders are reasonable.
So what does this tell us? That you can exercise authority on people till the time you're reasonable. The moment you start becoming unreasonable, they'll start to rebel. And did that happen? Does the book say that?
Yeah, exactly. The book tells us, and then he says that if I ordered all the people, and I would ask them to jump in the ocean, and he said that then there would be a revolution against me.
Exactly,
They
because
would
that's
not.
unreasonable
But
for
he
them
says
to do.
that he says that for others to obey your orders have to be reasonable. And then he says that, all right, little prince. He says that, okay, then can you do it like that? That I really love to watch the sunsets. Can you make a sunset happen for me right now? Then he says that no, things don't happen like that.
Okay.
For that, you have to have favorable circumstances. He said, okay, so what is that favorable circumstance? He said that I would have to consult the book. So it's a policy booklet.
SOP document.
It's a policy
No,
document.
does it also kind of tell us that kings are not gods? I mean, they can't make things happen. They can
Yeah.
order things to happen.
Yeah.
And and that also depends on the
Lots of conditions, yeah.
conditions of those things.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective,
Yeah.
correct?
So kind of kings also have limits. They're not limitless. They're
No,
not
not
gods.
at all. But they think that they are anyhow. But
Okay.
this one is quite
Okay.
actually, he
Okay.
does know this thing that obviously he can't order anything to happen at any time.
Yes.
Because then there are certain people who do think that world revolves around them. Anyhow. But, so he consults the policy booklet and then he finds out, he said that no, this thing can happen and my order, yes, the sun will going to obey it, but it will going to do it in the evening
Okay.
by this so and so time.
Okay.
So that is basically the time of the sunset.
So
it was like that.
So now you get
Yeah.
it. Now you get how people do it. I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of reminds me of Ruat Elal committee.
No comments. Okay. All right. So
Sorry. Achha, okay.
okay. So then what happens is, so then he says that okay, he said that he was so bored, there was nothing
Okay.
else to do, and then it was all about orders and this and that. So he said that I was just going to leave. And when he's about to depart, the king says that okay, just leave. I will going to make you minister. He says that minister of what?
True.
He said minister.
Any title that is given to you is also subjected to something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Yeah.
he said that minister of justice. He said that there is
What
nobody
justice?
like with whom I will exercise that entire ministerial authority or something. And then he says that okay, well, if there is no one, then you can reflect because about your own self.
Okay, judge your own self.
And judge
Okay.
your own self.
Okay.
So that's the most difficult thing to do in the world. So do that.
Okay.
And then he said that, okay, fine, that's interesting. But I can do it anywhere. Why do I have to be
I
on
s-
your planet to do that?
Exactly.
I can judge
My
myself
point,
anywhere. And then the universe, why would I be there? So that's why he said that, okay,
Does he stay then?
No, he does not. He says that, okay, I'm leaving. But while he was leaving, then the king said, okay, fine, listen, you are my ambassador now. I'm making my ambassador.
So he is not leaving his
He's not
authority.
letting go of his authority. So
Yeah.
whatever kind of form there is, though nobody is there to obey him and all that, but he's clinging
He
on
has
to
to-
that authority.
Exactly. He has to cling on to his authority, the concept of authority that he has.
Yeah, so he has created
Thought
for
about
himself,
himself.
I would
Okay,
say.
okay.
Anyhow, so next, the second planet is inhabited by a conceited man.
Okay.
Right, so as soon as the little prince comes, the conceited man says, oh, here comes my admirer. And then the little prince is a bit taken aback and said that, okay, fine. And then he said that, then he says that, what does an admirer mean? Because then he's the little prince, he does not let go of a question. And then he does not understand the concept of admirer. So he tells him and he says to admire means that you regard me as the handsomest, the best dressed, the richest,
Why does
and
it
the
sound like
most
a
intelligent man on
narcissist?
this planet. And the
Narcissist.
the little prince says, but you are the only man on your planet.
See, you can't even be most beautiful till the time you have something to compare. So binaries, as we said.
Yeah, so in the end he says that it's very hard to reason with a conceited man because he does not listen beyond whatever pleases him. So therefore it's all right. He says that yeah, I am your admirer, blah blah, and he goes away. he leaves into
This is
himself.
exactly how you deal with narcissists as well.
At times,
If
yes.
you have to, if you come across a narcissist and
Yeah.
if the narcissist is bent on showing his narcissism through his actions by forcing things on you and just doing things for his own sake and being more
Okay.
self-centered about it, so what happens is that you can only say yes and leave, literally ignore. So this is, I guess that's what he did to the conceited man as well. He just left without any argument.
Yeah,
or
he
more
did. He said that
interaction.
I knew it. So you see, at times when you really find out what the true nature of the person is, and it's irreparable. At times it is.
That's
You
right.
have to. I mean, you can try for some time, but you can't try for
You
the rest
can't
of your
force
lives because
people to
life is very
change.
short.
Yes.
So therefore, I think so. Once it's like that, then rather than doing that, it's better that for your own mental peace, it's all right to let the person be,
Let the person be
and
the
you
way they
just
are and
correct
leave.
your own course of life wherever you can.
Exactly.
So that's
True, very
interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.